Hey guys, thank you for coming back to Riahs Tie-Dye, and today we are doing, I'm trying. Today we are doing a Sunray t-shirt in size large. And what we're doing a Sunray for, I know we just did one on a dress, but the dress was ice dye. This one will be liquid dye, so I wanted to show the difference between the ice dye and the regular dye so you guys can see. It will be different colors, but you'll be able to see the difference, I promise. So don't forget to do the comment shout out. So basically you just comment down below something that you want to see, a design or on a certain piece of clothing, or even something maybe that's not clothing. I don't know, tote bag or apron. Anyways, so comment down below something that you want to see. We will pick the winner next week, and then we will shout out your name and what you commented. And then later on in the next week, we will do a video for that comment, and we will try it, whether it's a fail or a win, and you will be able to see all of that. So do that now, and I'll give you a second. Okay, so now let's get started on our t-shirt. Alright guys, so here's our t-shirt, and I have already gotten the wrinkles out of it. And I have my string connected to my pen, because we're going to do the same thing that we did with the dress. So what I didn't show you on the dress, because it was a little harder to do than on here, is you want a start and an end point. So what I'm going to do is I want to start, actually I want my end point to be down here. I want my start point to be about here on the arm. So we're going to want to adjust this and figure out how far the string is to the outside. So it's quite a bit further this way. So I'm just testing out if this is going to match up, which it looks like it does. So I'm going to lightly do this because I cannot hold the shirt while I draw on it. So go all the way down with the marker and make your arch, your sun ray. This one is going to be 4 different colors, and so when I pleat fold this, everything else should go along with it. So this arch will go as many times as you want it to with different colors. So this is pleat folded exactly the same way as the dress. The only difference is the dress has already pleats in it for the waist. This doesn't have any pleats in it. The only thing is the sleeves, which get a little, I guess, thicker when you get up towards the collar, especially if you have to put the collar in there or the seams, but it's not as thick as that waist on the dress, so it won't be as bad. And for the shirt, we are going to use rubber bands just to show you kind of the difference in how tight it is compared, or how loose it is compared to Kite String. So we're going to just start this and just pleat fold all the way up, matching your marker. And then once we do that, we can rubber band everything off. And like I've told you before, if you want to use the rubber bands as a guide for your dye, that's actually not a terrible idea, but you definitely don't have to. Alright, so now that we have our pleat fold in there and our marker is matching up, we're just gonna straighten this just a tad. Our pleats kind of come from this pleat, so that's a good thing because then we can use that to our advantage. But this is all going to get rubber banded together. So you don't want anything bunched up or too flat. But you can pull that, push it down some. If you have to, you can go through and push some of these parts in that are out too far. And then same thing with this side, just kind of straighten it out a little bit. Get all of these big pieces sticking out straight. And then any of the big pleats that you see that's sticking out a little bit too far, just pull them a little bit. They should get smaller if you open them up and pull them. And of course, watch this collar, because this collar is thicker than the rest of the fabric, so that one will bunch up on you definitely. So just pull that one together too, and then we can rubber band everything. So it should stay for the most part because this shirt is damp. It sat in soda ash for a little while and then was wrung out in the washer. So for this one, it sat probably in the soda ash for like a day, but you only have to do it for 20 minutes minimum. So I don't think you have to do that, or there's no long process or anything. You just need at least 20 minutes. And if you are using Derma dye, if you don't use soda ash, your dye will probably not come out good at all. It'll probably be faded because soda ash is actually a dye fixer. So when you use a dye fixer with before you use your dye, it is meant to make sure that your dye is sticking to your fabric. And if you don't use it, that's why it fades so bad. You're just gonna have faded dyes, just like those tulip pouches that I was using a while back. Those always faded, especially after the first or second wash. They just faded really bad. Even if I didn't wash them over and over again, if they just sat in my closet or if they sat on a rack, they just faded pretty terrible. So we're just gonna rubber band these. These are my smallest rubber bands. I'm not doing anything fancy, but for this shirt, we're gonna wanna kind of get in the cracks of the shirt. The dress was ice dye, so we really didn't have to worry about that at all. But when we dye this one, we don't want like a whole bunch of white, and if we dye a certain section, we can kind of split it open so you can see if the dye went down and through or not. If not, you can open these up and you can put dye in there. Just be careful not to put too much because it will start to spread and you can't really stop it once you do it. Alright, so now that's all rubber banded. So you can use this as a guide if you want. Alright, let's do it. Alright you guys, so this is a Sunray t-shirt and our colors are black, red violet, robin's egg blue, and hot pink. And I want most of it to be black, so probably from this rubber band to this rubber band is going to be black on both sides, and then we're going to use the other three colors right in the center here. So after this is all said and done, we're gonna let it sit for 24 hours, and then we're gonna rinse it in cold water till the dye runs out, till the water's clear, I should say. And then after we do that, we can reveal it. So let's get started. Alright, so I did decide to repeat the colors twice, and I think that'll look a lot better than what I was going to do. But we have black, purple, pink, blue, black, purple, pink, and blue, so that we're going to let this sit for 24 hours and then we can do our reveal. Alright guys, so this is the Sunray t-shirt with liquid dye, not ice dye like the dress. If you haven't checked that video out yet, go check that out. That way you can see the differences between ice and liquid dye. This one, so liquid dye stays more put than the ice dye, because the ice dye goes wherever the ice, when it melts, takes it. So you literally just throw the powder on, put the ice on. So check that video out if you want to try the ice dye. Like I said, this one's liquid dye, so you just made your bottles of dye with water and put it where you want it, and then it will do its thing. So I always have a problem with black, but I don't think that's the case this time. I think it stayed exactly where I put it. I just hope that it has kind of the effect that it kind of went into each other, so it normally does, but I'm really not that worried. So before I open this, check out my Etsy shop. It is in my channel art and down below, and check out all of our Amazon links for everything that I use. It's down below. It's literally everything I use except for the Dharma. You can't get that on Amazon, but you can go to dharmatradingcompany.com and order. They are having a little shortage issue right now because of everything going on, but you can contact them if you're not sure what they have in stock. There are other websites you can check. Just look up Procyon dyes. So without further ado, if that's how you say it, I don't know. Sunray with red violet, black, hot pink, and robin's egg blue, and that turned out super cool. So these little spots that you see, they are from this baker's rack, and it will wash out because it was recent. That wasn't there when I was rinsing it, so that'll wash out. But that looks super good. So you can see the difference if you check this reveal out and then the sundress reveal. The sundress bleeds into each other a lot more than this. This is, the color stayed put in this one. So I hope you try both of these different techniques out because they're super fun and they work really well. I personally like the ice dye better. I like ice dye pretty much on everything, unless I need a specific design, and then I can't. But so check out the Etsy, check out the links down below if you need anything. And then also the comment shout out will be happening very, very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. Probably in our next video, we're gonna announce one of the comments. So if you haven't already done that, comment down below something that you want to see. We will pick somebody, we will shout out to you in our next video, and then the week after we will do said video. Thank you for watching.